So why else do we think I picked confidence? It's different than cockiness, okay? All right. I'm going to tell you a short story here. It's about myself and a couple of my friends. We were in juniors in high school. You kids have not heard this one yet, don't worry. And it has nothing to do with you guys, so you're safe. We're juniors in high school. We were in state playoffs for basketball. We were getting destroyed. I mean, destroyed. I mean, it was awful. I probably shot 8 shots and I airballed 6 of them. And that's not good if you know anything about basketball. Ask Dante. Airballs are bad. Well, we're down by roughly 30 points. We're getting destroyed. We're playing at school. They're swearing at us. They're yelling at us. They're calling us every dirty name in the book. I'm getting upset. I'm like, oh my goodness. I wanted to drop the ball and start swinging. That's not good. Coach calls the timeout. Coach said, guys, what's going on? What's wrong? They're getting to you. Why are they getting to you? Why are they in your head? You're better than them. You're better than them. I know you're all better than them. He had confidence in us. I don't know why that game, but he had confidence in us. Long story short, my buddy Derek and I, we looked at each other. We were the only 2 freshmen to ever start varsity basketball for our high school, and we were juniors at the time. We were playing together all 3 years. Said, all right, let's shut them up. Mind you, I'm 5'10", he's 5'8". We're playing a school with an average height of 6 foot, and 6'3", 6'4" is the tallest. We go off. We tie the game. Because of our coach's confidence in us, we were able to send the game to overtime. And lo and behold, the worst person on our team, we thought, hit the game-winning shot because we all fouled out. But the point of the story is confidence. Our coach believed in us. He knew we could get it done. He knew we were willing to do what it took to get there. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Doing what it takes to get to heaven. Doing what it takes to be a man or woman of God. Doing what it takes to be called God's disciple. So I'm going to ask you to open up your Bibles to Daniel chapter 6. We're going to start in verse 10 today. And yes, I know we've all heard the story multiple times. We're going to go there anyways. Little background here. Daniel was it. He was the real deal, right? Yeah. Nothing about him was self-pride. It was all about God. Amen. Amen? It was all about God. Everything he did to praise God. Every time he stepped out the door, he's like, I'm working for you today, God, not for myself, not for that king who has me imprisoned here. I'm working for you. Well, that made the guys he was running the country with really upset and jealous because Daniel was almost perfect in everything he did because he served God. Amen. So they sought out to destroy Daniel. Here come these little drunk guys. I swear they had to be drunk to try to think this through.
They weren't drunk on the Bible.
They weren't drunk on the Bible. Here come these guys to the king. They're like, they came up with a plan. They're like, we're going to get Daniel. Just watch. Oh, king! How glorious are you today? Here's the king. Oh boy, what do they want now? King, we have an idea. Let's make a decree. For 30 days, no one can serve any god but you. Hey, I like this idea. This is good. And if they don't follow you, God, king, they'll be thrown into the lion's den. Starting off in verse 10. The king just signed the decree. And here comes Daniel. Now, when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went home. And in the upper room, with his windows open towards Jerusalem, he knelt down and he prayed 3 times a day. After this decree was signed, Daniel said, I don't care, not to be defiant, I don't care what anyone else says, God, I am going to serve you and you alone. Amen. 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 That's powerful. I don't care what will ever happen to me, God, I am going to serve you and you alone. Amen. Are you able to say that? Amen. Are you willing to say that? And here come these little men. They assembled together in verse 11, and they catch Daniel. Oh, you know they were waiting right by his bedroom window.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, where is he? Okay, we know he usually prays. It's noon. Oh, there he is. Got him. They were looking to hurt him. Verse 12, and they went before the king. And they said, King, have you not signed this decree? Have you not signed this law? That if anyone is caught worshiping God besides you, Almighty King, they should be thrown in the lion's den? I'm doing a lot of paraphrasing today. You can follow along in your Bible. I have 2 stories I want to get into. And the king's like, yes! Oh, yes! Who did it? So they answered in verse 13, that Daniel, who's one of the captives from Judah, does not show regard to you, O king. He doesn't honor you, king. He doesn't want to follow your rules. And the king was sad when he heard these words. Why do you think the king was sad? He loved Daniel. Daniel had been a faithful servant to the king. Daniel had been an honorable man and served him so well. And these other men, have they served him well? No, they deceived the king. They deceived him. He was so sad. He was like, oh, Lord, why did I get myself into? Put yourself in the king's shoes. Hey, it sounds good. Hey, they can worship me. All right, awesome. That's strike 1. Okay, but it's gonna be great. They're gonna pray for you. They're gonna do all these things just to you. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's strike 2. He didn't follow his thoughts. He didn't say, "Oh, these guys are bad." He went with it. The king was stuck. He couldn't change his law. He couldn't change the decree he signed. He was the king. He was stuck. He couldn't save his most faithful servant, Daniel. He couldn't save him. So he ordered in verse 16. So the king gave the command, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the lion's den. But when the king spoke, saying to Daniel, he said this with confidence, your God whom you serve continually will deliver you. The God you serve, Daniel, will deliver you. The king knew it was true. The king knew the God that Daniel served. And there was not a doubt in his mind that God would save him. There's not a doubt in my mind that God is going to save us. Daniel's constantly had his character assassinated. People were looking to make Daniel look bad. Why? Jealousy. Yeah. Daniel is a Christian, was a Christian. Our characters as Christian now are getting assassinated daily. You're one of those Christians, you're one of those followers of Jesus. Oh, am I going to go to hell because of my sins? Is that what you think, Christian? I've heard them all. No, that's not what we're saying. That's not what we say. That's not what Daniel was doing. Daniel was honoring his God and what his God said to do.
Amen.
He didn't compromise anywhere. He followed God no matter how hard it was, no matter what giants he may have faced. And right now he's facing some pretty big giants. Some lions. These lions, I mean, they probably hadn't eaten for how long? Weeks. Right? I mean, oh my goodness, they're probably starving. You know, man, I'm going to tell you, when Ethan doesn't eat for like a couple hours, he's opening that fridge, he's looking to devour things. So I can't imagine days. Well, Tony too, but hey, Thanksgiving's coming up. I got to hit the gym hard the next 5 days before Thanksgiving. Well, that's for the rest of my life after, but yeah. Now the king, in verse 18, went back to his palace. He didn't eat. He didn't have anyone come play for him. He was lame. He was sad. He was crying out for Daniel, his friend. his colleague, his most faithful servant. After not sleeping the whole night, in verse 18, the king runs down to the lion's den. Runs down and he's like, Daniel, Daniel, servant of the most living God, did your God save you? And what does he hear? What does he hear?
O King, live forever.
O King, live forever. My God delivered me. God delivered Daniel from the lions.
Amen.
Can God not deliver us from what we face daily?
Amen.
You know, it's been brought to my attention this week, and throughout the evangelism series, there was a lot of stuff going on. Our churches were under attack, not just here in Chambersburg, but in Waynesboro.
Yep.
Our friends, our families, they were under attack. Big attacks. I have a dear friend of mine who just went back to the hospital after her surgery. Her family was attacked. I had another friend whose character was assassinated. They told me I can't do it anymore. I just don't want to live this way anymore. I just want to give up and let him win. It's not going to happen. It can't happen. Because our God is great.
Amen.
Our God can save us from anything,
That's right.
including a lion's den. But Tony, that's just one story in the Bible. There's plenty of stories in the Bible. But I'm going to go to my favorite story. I want to invite you, our youth group. We've been having a great conversation and studies on character. And I told them today, I'm like, guys, from the last couple weeks of our Bible study, I put in the sermon today because it's been so great. So open your Bibles to 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 17. We're going to talk about David and Goliath. Why am I going to talk about David? Because David was just a boy. He was, from where? From 12 to what? Maybe 14? And he was just a boy called by God. And he said, I'm going to follow God. So I'm showing you there's no age limit here when God calls you.
That's right.
God can call you anytime.
Amen.
I better open my own Bible to where I need to go. There we go. 1 Samuel 17, verse 17. So here's David. His dad comes to him. Who's David's father? Jesse. All right, we're all together here. And Jesse goes, David, son of mine, I need you to take this food. Take this food and go check on the well-being of your brothers. They're down at the battle. So David, being the honorable child that he is, said, yes, father. And he got his stuff together. The next morning he rose and he went. Right before he goes, he knows he has to leave someone in charge of his sheep. So he does. He's a responsible young man, and he says, goes and takes him to someone to watch him. It's really good right there. I would probably have just left him. Oh, Dad got it. No, David was thinking ahead. He's like, all right, gotta get these sheep dropped off somewhere. And he did it. So I'm going to jump up to verse 22. And David left with the supplies in hand of the supply keeper and ran to the army and came and greeted his brothers. Then he talked with them. There was a champion, the Philistines of Gath. Goliath was his name. Coming up from the armies of the Philistines, he spoke according to the same words. So David heard, excuse me, I'm sorry. I need glasses. Alright, so here's Goliath. Let's say, 8 feet tall, 9 feet? 9 foot? 9.5 feet tall. Let's just say a good 10 foot.
Big guy.
Big guy. Is it? John Tripper's pretty tall. How tall are you, John?
6'3".
6'3". Anybody here taller than 6'3"?
Mark is in here.
Marcus. That's with hair. That doesn't count. All right. So 6'3". Okay, imagine 3 to 4 feet taller than John. And when you say taller, the taller they get, usually the wider they get. Unless you're Yao Ming and you're a stick. But anyways, here's this big giant. And what is he saying? He's making fun of God's army. But what else is he doing? What are the words he's saying? Taunting. So let me ask you something about God's army.
Blaspheming God.
He's blaspheming God. He's blaspheming God's army. So, what is special about God's army? They're chosen. Hey, wait a minute. Aren't we chosen? We're chosen, are we not?
Amen.
We're chosen and baptized by fire and water. Oh, it's powerful. We're chosen. So here's Goliath making fun of everyone. Saying, oh, you guys are nothing but a bunch of pansies. Come and fight me. Let me see. Do I have someone shorter than Miguel here? I have a stand up here. She's tall? Okay. Oh, okay, so one of the little boys in the back who was up here for a children's story, his feet were hanging up. He was this tall. This is what be a little kid down there standing up to his first step, basically. And here's Goliath, making fun of the soldiers, right? Would you be scared? Yeah, come on now, don't lie. Would you be scared? Of course you'd be scared. I mean, come on. Most of us are scared when we look in the mirror in the morning. So come on, I mean, at least I am. So it's like, oh, man, that hair might not. The truth is, we'd be scared, we'd be terrified. But here's David. He's like, nah, man, we gotta stop this guy. He's not just talking about our army, he's talking about our God. Are they talking about our God today? They're talking about our God, our Jesus, our Savior. It's not a joke to me. So David, he's like, whoa, wait a minute. Here, what's going on? Why are you guys not joining anything? Verse 23. His oldest brother, Eliab, heard what he was saying, and he got angry. He got angry with David. And he was like, what is the first thing he does in this verse?
That's the wrong verse.
You what?
It's not the right. Verse 23.
Verse 23. Yeah. And Eliab, I'm sorry, 28.
I was thinking wrong.
Whoa! I jumped. 28, sorry. That's my fault. Not your John. His oldest brother was what? Condemning him. He even asked him, where'd you leave the sheep? Hello, brother. What'd you do with our sheep? What did David do with the sheep? He attacked his character. What did David do with the sheep? This is important. He took care of his responsibility. He didn't just leave them somewhere in the middle of the field so he had to fight off another lion or bear later on because he enjoyed doing that. No! He left him with a keeper.
That's verse 22.
Yep. So, here he is getting attacked by his brother. And finally, he's like, whatever. Forget you. You're being a jerk to me. You're my older brother. You're always going to be mean to me. I got it. So he continues talking. Talking so much it gets to King Saul. And King Saul calls for this young man. David said, King Saul, don't be worried anymore. I'll fight. Wait a minute. Here's this big, awesome king, Saul. He's like, and here's this little boy, David. He's like, you want to do what, young man? Speak up one more time. I didn't hear you. I'll fight the giant. But you're young. You're only a boy. You can't do this. Goliath. He's been fighting since his youth. He's been a warrior since he was a young lad. David said, I don't care. He defiles my God.
Amen.
And I serve my God, and my God will deliver that giant in my hands. And that's what he did. King Saul's like, wow, he's wise. I can't imagine what this king's thinking. David's sitting here, and he's like, I'll fight him. And he's giving him every reason why he can. He defeated a lion and a bear. He destroyed them. Because of God's power, I did this, king. And because of God's power, I'll defeat this giant. We're going to jump real far ahead. Oh no. So I like this part. This is funny to me because I think of Ethan wearing a bunch of big armor as a little boy. And so here's Saul's like, fine, David, go. I'm going to give you my sword. I'm going to give you my helmet. I'm going to give you my shield. I'm going to give you all my armor to go face this giant because a warrior needs his what? Armor. It was too heavy for him. The helmet was probably over his small little head. I mean, he's probably trying to get the helmet off. David said, it's too big. God has me. This, to me, is where the armor of God really starts.
Amen.
He knew God had protection on him. He knew God had him covered. He had his shield of faith.
Amen.
He had his helmet of salvation.
Yeah.
He had his sword, which was the word of God. He had everything he needed. So here he goes. He's getting ready. He's going down to the battlefield. Oh wait, no, he needs a weapon. What kind of weapons should he have to fight this giant? David's a shepherd, so I can imagine he's going to have a slingshot or something. So he goes down there and picks up how many stones? 5. 5 stones. Stones. For that dude's big skull. Wow. Again, I'm paraphrasing for those watching online. So David's going down. And he goes to face the giant. Right? And Goliath sees David coming. And he gets angry. He gets furious. Why is Goliath furious here? You come at me with what? I'm sorry, what?
Am I a donkey?
I mean, come on, dude. We ain't play fighting right now. You coming at me like this? Oh, I get mad too. Oh, man, I'm going to stomp you. No, he came at him like that. And here's David. You talk junk about my God. Big mistake. My God's delivered me once, and he's going to deliver me now. And he's going to deliver you into my hands. We all know what happens. You know, if not, read your Bible. Oh, stop there. David destroys the giant. He destroyed him. David wasn't scared to take a stand for God. David wasn't scared to take a stand and say, I'm going to serve you. Daniel wasn't scared. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they weren't scared. Moses wasn't scared. Not when it came to it. They were scared, but when they finally let God take control of their lives, they weren't. It's a relationship. It's foundation. You think it's confidence. But who is it confidence in? Themselves? In God. You know, yeah, I'm a Bible worker. I'm a Bible instructor. At the meetings, I've told them, just like a pastor, I'm just out doing the hard work. And I say they have a harder job as pastors than we do. How much time do I have left? Mark, you tell me to go for another hour? I'll just play. We're going to finish up here soon. No, confidence. If he had confidence in just themselves, they would have never been able to do the things God called them to do. Right now, I'm going to ask John to put on a song for me. That's something I heard on the radio the other day. It took me forever to find. And of course, when I heard it on the radio, I had to find something where I thought it'd be more appropriate for church. So, John, if you'd play a song for me real quick.
You gonna sing?
No, I'm not singing. You're crazy. I want to keep you guys here. I don't want to send you running.
I'm a warrior, too afraid to lose. I feel unqualified for what you're calling me to. But Lord, with your strength, I got no excuse. 'Cause broken people are exactly who you use. So give me feet like Daniel in the lion's den. Give me hope like Moses in the wilderness. Give me a heart like giants with confidence. You took a shepherd boy and made him a king. So I'm gonna trust you and give you everything. I'll be a conqueror, 'cause you fight for me. I'll be a champion, claiming your victory. So give me faith like Daniel in the lion's den, and give me hope like Moses in the wilderness. Give me a heart like David in my defense, so I can face my giants with confidence. I'm gonna sing and shout, shake the walls. I'll stop until I see them fall. I'm gonna stand up, step out when you call. And Jesus, Jesus, I'll sing, shake the walls. I'll stop until I see them fall. I'm gonna stand up, step out when you call. And Jesus, give me faith like Daniel in the lion's den, and give me hope like Moses in the wilderness. Give me a heart like David up in my defense, so I can face my giants with confidence. Give me faith like Daniel in the lion's den, and give me hope like Moses in the wilderness. Give me a heart like David, but be my defense, so I can face my giants with confidence. I face my giants with confidence.
Amen. I'm gonna come down here. I don't like being up there. You know, the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life, was accept God's call for my life. Was accept Jesus' calling for me to ministry. It was the hardest thing I ever had to do. I thought I was going to be facing the world alone and by myself. I saw how churches worked where I was from, and I was like, I'd be doing all the work by myself. Never would I imagine the amazing things I've been part of, watching people give their lives to God. That was my giant. Another giant was giving up my old life to become a Christian. The giant is Chambersburg. A giant's Waynesboro. A giant's Pennsylvania, North America. A giant's everywhere. God said something to us. Jesus specifically said something to us. I will be with you wherever you go in what? My name. I'll be with you. I won't leave you. I won't forsake you. I have your back. And I'll never let you fall. When you're there for me, I'll be there for you. Yeah. It's the Pennsylvania Conference's Faith for Family motto. When you're there for us, we'll be there for you. It's been awesome to be part of God's armies. It's been awesome to be on the front line. I don't know what you're facing. I don't know what trials are before you. I do know when you stand with Jesus, they're not giants. They're puny little baby mices. That's the truth. I don't know if it's temptation. I don't know if it's anger. I don't know what you're facing, but God will defeat that giant for you. Amen. But He asks for something in return. He asks for your faithfulness. He asks in your faithfulness to spread His name, the Son of His Son's name, Jesus' name. Everything we do either makes Jesus' name look really good or really bad. that's never a middle ground. People either have great things to say about our God or terrible things to say about our God. How do we want to represent Him today? The world's a giant looking to destroy us. Are we willing to go with 5 little stones to take it down? Are we willing to go and help baptize Him? Jesus. Jesus is calling. He's knocking. Will you answer? Will you answer?
Amen.
Amen.
Say amen.
Amen.
It's all great. But taking action shows that you're going to answer.
Amen.
It's not just saying, yeah, I'll answer, amen. Yeah, that's me, I'm going to answer. It's standing up and answering God's call daily. It's not just you guys, it's me. It's my wife. We have to answer His call daily. Are you willing to answer His call daily? If you're willing, take a stand. Right now, stand with me if you're willing. Stand if you're willing to let God change you. Stand if you're willing to be a soldier for God. Stand if you're willing to allow God to heal you.
Amen.
But don't stand unless you're 100% committed to God. It's not for me, it's not for the church, it is for God that you're standing. Stand if you want God to turn you into the warrior you need to be.
Amen.
Let's pray. Father God in heaven, thank you for today. Father, it's so awesome to serve you. It's not always easy, but it's awesome. So right now I ask you to be with my brothers and sisters who are standing. I ask you to be with them and hold them in your hands right now. And for those who aren't willing to make the stand yet, or if they're standing and don't know what to do next, Lord, come down to them. Open their hearts so you can help them grow. Open all of our hearts so we can grow and be more like your Son, Jesus. Lord, I thank you.